Doc Slab Audio on music production and audio engineering. Welcome to Doc Slab Audio and our Insights series. I do believe this is the 18th video in our Insights series, and in this video we want to talk about building a production crew. So this is a pretty simple concept, and why I'm addressing this, because I've got a lot of people that are just trying to tackle the whole production. And some people who are really gravitating towards certain areas of recording or just creation or mixing or mastering, and trying to get themselves wrapped up in that seems to be kind of an issue at times. And so a really good concept and a good idea for you to work on, if you fall into the category of not being just the production engineer and you're doing everything, is trying to put yourself a production crew together. That means that you've got separate individuals that are helping you with creating music, performing the music, processing and editing the music, mixing the music, and mastering the music, and possibly distributing the music, and putting a crew together to help you accomplish that, so that you can really get into your niche and have a crew around you that has an objective, working with certain types of music or certain types of genres or certain types of productions, that you can have a crew put together to start honing your skills and working together, so that you're going to get a much better idea how everything works and a lot more input to every area, but you're going to be more fine-tuned to a specific area. Say that you are in the creation, you are a composer and you're composing productions, or you're performers, you're a guitarist or you're a pianist, or you're a mixer, or you're a processor, you're really good at processing, you're really good at mastering, you really want to get into distributing, or you really want to gravitate towards being a recording engineer. Any one of those areas, trying to get yourself a crew together to try to do productions can be a really cool concept. The only problem with that is sometimes you might have a little bit of an issue in the recording procedure, that sometimes you might have to rely on the performers recording themselves, and you can do all this virtually from a long ways away, bro, and put entire productions together and be nowhere near each other, but be able to get it done, right? And it's a really cool concept, because there are so many forums and places where you can get together with other producers and engineers and composers and, on and on and on, to try to start finding some people like that and really spending some time there trying to put a crew together and say, let's say you're into EDM. And it's like, I would be really cool to put a crew together to produce EDM, and try to get it to where you've got all these separate individuals that are contributing to an end product that someone is trying to distribute, and that they're really gung-ho about, I like to distribute. I like to get involved in trying to distribute and market and, and that's their niche. And they're just like, yeah, this is so cool. Let's get this crew together to get this going. And everybody has their own place to get something done, instead of you just get lost trying to do all of it yourself sometimes, because you might be a pianist that's a really good performer, but you're not the best composer, or you're not the best recording engineer, you're not the best mastering engineer, but you're a really good performer on the piano or on the guitar or on the bass, and somebody else has got, you can have input into all those in all those areas as a group that are a crew getting it done, but your niche is your niche. You're a bass player. You are a good performer, and you do your part for the entire production. And as you start to put your crew together, it's going to really help you fine-tune yourself in the area that really appeals to you, rather than you get lost in all the other stuff and be that jack of all trades that does nothing really, really well, but you have a semi-good understanding of it. I teach that, I can do just about any of those areas pretty well, but it took a long time, bro. It didn't just happen. And it's just learning all that stuff and learning in the ins and outs of every that. It's a lot of work, rather than you just focusing on being a bass player, or really focusing on being a composer, or really focusing on mastering, or really focusing on engineering or mixing or whatever. Does that make sense? And you really getting that in your head and going, that's really a cool concept. How hard would that be to do? And start really branching out, digging around in forums and groups and all kinds of areas. You post, and I really want to put this crew together to do these EDM productions. And these are all separate areas, and we all have input, but we know that Bob's a pianist. We all got input, but we let him do his thing, and then we critique it and da-da-da-da-da, just like the composer or the mastering engineer or the mixing engineer or the recording engineer or the guy that's distributing it. But they're all separate areas trying to help us put this crew together that's going to produce this for us, so that we can really fine-tune ourselves and hone ourselves in areas that really interest us. I really want to be a recording engineer. Sometimes I might be able to record it from home. Sometimes I might have to work with the pianist or the guitarist or the bassist from his house and in my house in a separate country or area, and go, this is what I want you to do. This is how you get that set up. This is what you do. And then hit the record button for me. Yeah, dude, now send me that file. Let me see if it's okay. And those kind of things. But you're working together. Does that make sense? And really fine-tuning and honing your skills so they don't have to, they can work on their areas, being proficient as good as they can be in the areas they work in, and you being as good as you can be in the area you're working in, to really put this crew together. It can be a little bit of work, but for a lot of people that I've seen on my channel, it could be something really cool for them, that they have people that they like working with. They like working with different individuals. They want to fine-tune themselves in certain areas, and they want to delegate some of this kind of stuff. This guy's the composer or the performer. This guy's the recording engineer that's going to help us, either at his studio or, via internet, to help us set up and get ready and get the captures for him and, help us go through it. This guy's at editing, really good at editing or processing and, group mixing and, all of these areas that I've talked about, they can be separate areas of your crew. That way it doesn't just fall on you such a heavy burden, any one of those individuals. So they've got much more freedom to really focus on, what they want to do and to help you. And when they're not working on your project and it's not their time, the composer's done, he can be working on other stuff while the rest of the crew's working on that and have the input to help them work through it, and it just starts this chain reaction that there's always stuff going on. There's always new stuff happening. There's always somebody that's in the composer, he's done, he's handed it off to the performers, and they're working with the recording engineer and trying to get that. He's working on a new project, and he's helping you, but he's back and forth a little bit. And so there's always this chain of things on the assembly line getting put together that's in process, and all this really cool interaction between, as you were getting all the way up to distributing, that there's this network and this crew that's always working on something, and working, together and separate, and, and just rolling along there and really fine-tuning their skills and really being able to work in the areas they want to help them do what they want to do, and getting a lot of input from you that any one of them could call the processing engineer. The performer can say, well, I'm doing this thing with my amp, but when I get done with this, dude, can you pre-process that to where you get a little bit more bass and get a little bit more distortion, or you clean it up, you add a little bit of a reverb there or whatever, and you're going to be able to fix that problem, or talking to the mastering engineer, while the guy's mixing, and then, well, I'm going to do this, what can you do with that? Should I do that like that? Or the composer talking to the performers, and then I'm going to compose this. What do you think about that? Talking to the bass player, the pianist, and this whole interaction thing, working with your crew, is a really cool idea, and you can have a lot of fun. Say you're just doing EDM and just rolling like that, and always got stuff being assembled and working, and people working apart from each other and together and interacting and trying to make each other better as they're going along through these. It's a really cool concept that is really indie kind of, right? But it can really blossom into some really cool things. And you might have some people coming in and going out every now and then, but that's okay, because you're getting new people coming in, new things happening, new ideas. It can make everybody in the crew better, because everybody's getting input from all kinds of different areas, that those people are really blossoming into professionals in their niche, and they're getting good input from all the other areas that make a production a powerful production, from good input from all those areas and good performances in all those areas from individuals who are really honing their skills in those areas and becoming really professional in those areas. So it's really something I wanted to put out there as an insight, that maybe it might be something you might want to do, and it might be a lot of fun for some of you, and also it might be really a good direction to go professionally to really help you get done what you want to do. So I certainly hope you enjoyed this next video in our Insights series, building a production crew to help you get done what you want and to have more fun doing it, and to have a different way to go about doing it to accomplish your goals. So peace, self-love. I certainly hope you enjoyed this next video in our Insights series, and I will see you in the next video.